People should and do trust me.
We have a candidate here who's not being honest or candid about what she's done with her emails.
Voters thinking that she's dishonest and not trustworthy.
She's doing terribly in terms of people believing she is honest and trustworthy.
Trust is really going to hurt her in the long run.
Tech staffer that Hillary Clinton hired to set up this server, Brian Pagliano.
Right.
He took the fifth, or declined to testify in front of Congress. Why might he want to take an immunity deal from Justice?
Well, because he has no choice, really, effectively no choice. And at this point, no choice but to tell the whole truth. We've got classified material being put in a non-classified setting knowingly. That in and of itself is the charge that was brought against General Petraeus, and to which he pleaded guilty. And indeed, there's an argument that what's here is a lot worse. One thing that needs to be proven, if the same charges that were brought against General Petraeus are to be brought, is that that she was in some way responsible for putting this classified material that she knew was classified in a non-classified setting. That's all. That's a misdemeanor. It's relatively a minor charge, which is to say it's less than a year in jail, at maximum.
We know the following. The FBI and the Justice Department are working in tandem. A grand jury is already sitting and will soon hear or has been hearing testimony. They want the testimony of this young man, Brian Pagliano, to testify. He would not have been given immunity because the process for immunity is long, slow, tortuous, and requires the approvals of many people along a chain of command. Unless the Justice Department was satisfied that out of his mouth would come evidence sufficient to indict someone. We don't know who, but someone. Now, what exactly could he tell? Well, he was present at the creation of a conspiracy to keep from the United States government the communications of the Secretary of State. He diverted Mrs. Clinton's secure email information and data to her insecure server, and if in order to do that she gave him her password so that he could get access from it to move it from the secure State Department server to her insecure server. He's the one who moved it, according to the FBI, to Mrs. Clinton's server. If she assisted him in that move, either by words that she spoke or by actions she took, like giving him her password in order to do it, her legal woes are magnified because now you have misconduct in office, obstruction of justice, and espionage. Mr. Pagliano, did you talk to Secretary of State Clinton about it? Yes, I did. What did she tell you, and what did you tell her? And he'll tell this to the grand jury. He's the only person from her inner circle, as far as we know, who's going before a grand jury and will testify under oath. If he misrepresents under oath, he could be prosecuted for perjury. They've decided to make him their guy. So if there is a trial, they're going to vouch for his credibility. He is the person that's going to explain to the grand jury how the whole process of diverting state secrets from the State Department email server to the Clinton server in Chappaqua came about, who was behind it and who knew about it. If the government likes what he says, then they go and get immunity for him. They apparently liked what he said because they believe it will help them indict someone. Very soon. Like May, I think.
In terms of an indictment.
In terms of somebody getting indicted.
Move up the scale to perhaps destruction of government records. You recall she ordered that things that she said were personal be destroyed.
That was about 30,000 emails or so.
Right. All of which she said involved Chelsea's wedding
That's
or
right.
yoga. That's a lot of.
Right.
There's a lot of yoga. If any of that was government information, then that's destruction of records. That's a 3-year felony. You move up from that to disclosing information relating to the national defense, and we know now that there was some stuff in there that was human intelligence, satellite intelligence that's so secret it'll never come out. That disclosing that, we're putting it in a position where it can obviously be disclosed with gross negligence. That's a 10-year felony.
Let's take a deep breath here. I've never had a subpoena.
We sent her a subpoena. Couldn't be more plain. The Honorable Hillary R. Clinton.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
Classified information was transmitted on the private server that she ran out of her home.
I did not send nor receive anything that was classified.
Maybe the heat is getting to everybody.
Despite her repeated past denials, the intelligence community's inspector general now says 2 of her emails should have been classified top secret.
That's one of the highest levels of classification.
This is being blown up with no basis in law or in fact.
The U.S. government, the Department of Justice, has been asking for the server.
Has ordered her team to turn over her personal email server and thumb drive.
Now, that thumb drive is going to be held by the FBI itself.
She didn't turn it over voluntarily.
It's a dangerous new development for her.
How do you have a private email server as Secretary of State and scrub it, and I'm going to believe you, and you think the American public is that stupid?